Okay, hi, a very good morning to all of the audience here today. And you are here for the theme of quality education. So a very warm welcome to all of you here because you're going to have a look at the conference of COVID-19 has deepened the global learning crisis. And I will be your presenter for this short session. It will take somewhere around 5 to 10 minutes, so hang on there with me. And my name is Liang Jiayu. So we have 5 agendas today. But before that, I would like to express my gratitude towards the Malaysian Teachers Association for inviting me to have this short session. Okay, so let's have a look at the 5 agendas. So the first one, we have the introduction to COVID-19. I would say everyone knows about that. And then the next one will be impact of COVID-19 on global learning. And the next one, they are very similar, but this will be on the Malaysian education. And the next one will be after the COVID-19, how do we enhance our learning? And the very last one will be conclusions. Alright, so we will step into introduction to COVID-19 right now. Now let's have a look at this part. So COVID-19, we also call it as coronavirus disease. It is initially originated from Wuhan, China. So there were some confirmed cases in early December of 2019. So this disease is actually caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus, and the infected people, they might actually develop respiratory illnesses which can lead to death. So that sounds very, very scary at first. So it was first reported on the 31st of December 2019, and this was reported to WHO. And after a month, this organization actually announced globally on the outbreak of it as the emergency health issue. Okay, so because of the swift spread, the COVID-19 spread too fast. So Malaysia also got their first case on 25th of January 2020, and finally we got implemented the Movement Control Order, but we also call it as MCO, on the 18th of March 2020. So if you would like to have more reading, you can go to Tang 2020 to get more information. So now, let us move on to the next one here, impact of COVID-19 on global learning. So this is on the global context. So we can have a look at the first one. Because of the increment of confirmed cases every single day, so many of the countries, not only Malaysia, they also have limited the movement of their nations. So movement limitations have actually impacted many sectors, including the educational field. So traditional methodologies in delivering physical lessons have actually shifted to the online platform. So what are the online platforms that you have? You keep your answer in mind first, alright? And then when learning takes place on online platforms, what are the tools that we need? So have a quick guess. So I asked for your answer just now. You can brainstorm a few answers in your mind. So let me tell you what are the tools that we're going to use. So the first one, what is this? This is a laptop. So because of the online learning platform, we need laptop, alright? And then the next one, we have tablet. And of course, the third one is so important to all of us today, a smartphone, alright? And then the next one, probably you might not have think about this, we need Wi-Fi. And most importantly, it has to be a stable connection. Alright, we will further talk about this later on. Now let's move on with the next one here. So, those tools have actually become very, very necessary in the learning process because we need them to access online learning platforms. So now, a new question thrown to you right now. So what are the online learning platforms that you would like to use, or what are the platforms that you have used previously? Okay, keep that in mind first. We will check it out later. So they have actually induced heavy burdens on the parents for buying these gadgets. So why do I say that? Because previously, many young children, they do not need these smart gadgets, but suddenly, out of a sudden, because of this COVID-19, so everyone they had to learn at home or teach at home. So that's why they need smart gadgets to access these learning platforms. And then you can see that it is further proven that 24% of sales has increased for smart products in the year of 2020. So if you would like to see some comparison between the statistic that they provide, you can actually go to Consumer Policy News and have a further reading on this. Now let's move on with the next one. It says that shifting the learning mode to online, it was so challenging. From multiple perspectives, we can see that from educators, parents, adaptation to changes, and also the participation on parents. So we will further explain this right now. You can have a look at this part. This is on Malaysian education. So we have the first point here, teaching and learning from home. So we are trying to target on the teachers and also the learners. So at first, we do not have stable or sufficient internet quota. At first we do not have that because the students and teachers both, they have to acquire a smooth process in teaching and learning from home. So it was so difficult to have a very smooth process because you can see that the internet quota and unstable internet has caused us lots of problems. I'm sure everyone has tried this before if you are in Malaysia during the pandemic period. So sometimes the other problem might be due to the smart gadgets, which is insufficient. We do not have enough smart gadgets to support our learning or teaching process. So sometimes it's also because of the lack of motivation to maintain the consistency in learning because you do not have teachers at school asking you to, hey, you need to study now, hey, your examination is coming up. So that's why they might lack of motivation. And then the next one here, they might lack of self-disciplinary and self-awareness in accomplishing the task. So teachers might give them some homeworks or assignments to finish, but they might not be disciplined enough or self-aware enough to finish it on time. And then the next one here, the reduction of students' participation during the lesson because you are behind the screen with the students. You do not know what are the students doing on the other side of the screen. So it is so difficult in observing them, and when you don't observe them enough, it will also cause them to participate lesser. Alright, now we move on with the next one here. You can see we are changing another point here. So this is the situation while conducting the online lessons. This will be on the teacher side. So students tend to be more passive. They don't give much responses and they become unwilling to give their thoughts. And then so difficult to stay focused because the time throughout that could be 1 hour throughout the whole lesson, probably 2 hours or maybe 1 hour. It was too long for them to stay focused because of no physical cue. The teachers do not say, hey, you're not sleeping, are you? Okay, so when physical cue given, they will not be so boring and sleepy. And students might eventually lose interest in learning. Okay, now we move on to the next one here. We have application on online platforms. It was so challenging for older teachers. For me, I am still okay with it. I find it alright, no problem. But old teachers are a little bit difficult, and the class flow might not be smooth, especially when something happened out of a sudden. They can't find out the way in solving the problem. So the next one is the young learners might not acquire the skill in taking the learning materials online, and taking materials not a problem. Also, when it comes to submission, there is a problem too. So now we can have a look at this one. After the COVID-19, actually we are still adopting the online platforms, you can see, because these online platforms can actually enhance their learning. How does that do? You think about what kind of online platforms do you think it's effective? Now, have it in your mind, we have a check on here. These are the 3 online platforms that I'm still using. The first one is Quizlet. So it mainly promotes students' learning by using flashcard, and it is also very effective in helping them to remember the vocabularies. And then the quizzes here, I use it for slides, animations with slides, because these helps the students to participate more. They have more interest in learning. And the very last one is Kahoot. I use it mostly for quizzes. So I use this one, so it can also help me to assess how much my students have learned after the lesson, to see what are the marks that they achieved. Okay, so I would say that the 3 online platforms here are quite useful, okay, in my personal opinion. So now let's move on to the conclusion part. So the COVID-19 actually hit us unexpectedly. No one has seen this coming. It was so sudden. But I would also say that it does not only bring unwanted consequences. On the bright side, it has also helped the educational field to realize the convenience of online platforms. Assuming that we do not have COVID-19 today, are we going to use online platforms that soon? Probably no, alright? I mean, this is just my assumption here. Okay, I would say COVID-19 has also helped us to realize the good or the benefits of online platforms. So it is also shown that online platforms can be effective tools because it is conducted in an interesting and interactive way. So going through the ups and downs here could be tough, but we must be glad that we are still having good health in continuing on our journey, no matter it's on the educator's perspective or the learner's perspective. So this is almost the end of my speech, but before that, you can have a look at these 2 references. If you're interested in reading some of the reading materials, you can actually have a search on these 2 websites. Alright, so I would really have to say thank you so much for your time in attending this conference and stay with me for this 10 minutes time. And you can have a look at my phone number here. If you would have more information to ask or clarify your doubts, do not hesitate to contact me personally, or you can also drop an email for me. Alright, so that will be the end for today. Thank you so much for your time with staying with me. Thank you.